the longest shoreline in the north, this is Lou Quiamco from Sandra Mejia.
From the cradle of Christianity here in the Philippines, Cebu City! Hello webmasters! For today, we are going to make a video in the Module 1 Lesson 4 about technology in the teaching to learning process.
We are going to explain in a short while the context of the lesson carefully. So sit back, relax, and prepare to learn something.
So let us define first what is technology. Technology, it is the sum of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods or services or the accomplishment of objectives such as scientific investigation. Furthermore, technology can play a traditional role as delivery medium for instructional lessons or in a constructive way as partners in the learning process. Advantage and disadvantage of technology. So let us have first the advantage. One of the advantages of technology is that communication is enhanced and companies can communicate more easily with foreign countries. In globalization also, technology plays a vital role. Without the advanced communication, globalization won't exist. So now let us have the disadvantage. One of the disadvantages of technology is the cost. Staying up to date with the latest and greatest technology can be expensive even if it ends up saving you money in the long term. The next is the tools of technology. One of the tools of technology is the multimedia. Development in computers, communication, electronics, and other multimedia tools provide a wide range of sensory stimuli. That is where the multimedia, a factor of technology, is also a tool. Another tool is the audiovisuals and animations. Audiovisuals, video conferencing, short animations can be used in teaching learning process. That is why in ICT education, this is very important to know the basic tools of technology. The third tools of technology is the digital devices. Digital devices like cameras, scanners can be used for instructions. Next is the personal digital assistants or the PDA. The PDA wireless devices are used as e-learning tools allowing the learners to access information anytime, anywhere. Personal digital assistants includes your mobile phones that have internet and can access the information anytime and anywhere. The next tools of communication is the community resources. This can be done via team modes, namely asynchronous communication and synchronous communication. When we say synchronous communication, this can be defined as real-time communication between two people. Examples include face-to-face or phone communication. While asynchronous communication is the transmission of data, generally without the use of an external clock signal, where data can be transmitted intermittently rather than in a steady stream. Another tool of technology is the database. Database is a good source of materials put up by the government, libraries, and educational institutions. Another information about a database, it is an organized collection of data, generally stored and accessed electronically from a computer system. Where databases are more complex, they are often developed using formal design and modeling techniques. The last tool of technology is the software libraries or digital libraries. A software libraries contain programs that the learners may download it to their own computers.
Hey webmasters, so right now we are going to tackle about the next topic, which is the teacher to parent interaction. What do we mean by that? So it is the type of interaction that both involves the presence of the teacher and the parent to achieve one common purpose, which is to let the children understand and to be educated more. Because in conventional times, we often think that it should only be the teacher and the student that needs to have an interaction, which is very wrong. Because a parent's role in a child's education is very important, because they are the ones that is going to instill at home the proper decorum, proper attitude of the children, which is very, very important in the social skill of a student. So there is a quotation that says, when a teacher and parents are equipped with mindsets that facilitate learning, kids will have a fighting chance of getting a good education. This means to say that the collaboration of teacher and also parents is very important, because they need to be working hand in hand to constantly improve the learning of the young ones. And a study from TOP, or Teacher and Parents as Partners, says that a large scale of randomized trial across 82 classrooms found that students whose teachers and parents participated in the TOP process demonstrated greater increase in adaptive behavior and social skills than those students whose teachers and parents did not participate in TOP. So it solidifies the claim that it is very pivotal to have a collaboration between the teacher and also the parents, because a researcher in this study, Susan Sheridan, she have evaluated TOP using numerous experimental and case studies, which the result is that it enhances the academic, social, and behavioral outcomes of the students. And as also you can see here in the presentation, you can see the dramatic or the drastic increase of the social skills of the students during the collaboration between the teacher and also the student. So online conversation with parents involved greater discussion about pedagogical issues and often focused on student learning than they had been in traditional school settings. So in this new normal that we live in, it is very important for parents to check the status of their children's progress of learning by having conversation online. So voicemail and other messaging systems help in encouraging both parents and students to leave messages to their teachers. This could be a good mode of asking of updates in the learning of their children, as there are a lot of factors or distraction why students might not do online classes seriously because of temptation. So the parents can also have a direct access to the classrooms instead of having their children's educational experiences filtered and interpreted through the eyes of their children. There are methods online in which parents can track the activities and not be deceived by what their kids are telling them, because sometimes kids can be also naughty. And now, let us proceed. Is the teacher-to-teacher interaction. So, there is a study from Arkansas State University that they have found out that when teachers collaborate, the interests, backgrounds, and the strengths of each teacher can contribute to a project. So this is a big word. So aside from the interaction between the teacher and also the parents, it is also good for both teachers and teachers to have a collaboration For example, now, in these times of pandemic, most of the teachers are having webinar. So these webinars are very important because it nurtures or it improves, innovates the skills of our teachers nowadays. Here in the Philippines, there are a lot of webinars that is happening online. And so as the cliche goes, no man is an island. That is why teachers around the world are helping one another to achieve one common goal, which is for the learning of the future generation. They are constantly improving themselves to adapt to the changes that is happening to the humankind. Teachers around the world can share their instructional activities and experiences with each other. So this is the application of the cliche a while ago that no man is an island, because most of the teachers nowadays are exchanging modules so that they will ease the burden of one another, because they know the struggles of making one, so that is why they are trying to help. And also the chat rooms like innovative teaching on www.yahoo.com and other websites serve this on purpose. So a lot of websites online are emerging, which is helping the teachers communicate and share their thoughts to one another, just like the webinars that are happening worldwide. And now, the teacher to student interaction and student to student interaction. So, the students can decide at times to meet online and discuss the various aspects of the course on weekends and also on holidays. So, since we are now living in this digital age where one click can change our lives, we can now have a choice to furtherly discuss the subject on our free time through the comfort of our hands into our comfort of our bedroom through online meeting platforms. For example, Google Meeting, Zoom, that are some online platforms that will help us discuss our thoughts, exchange our ideas online. So, the next thing is the online testing. So what do we mean by online testing? So it is a conducting of tests online to measure the knowledge of the participants on a given topic. So basically it is an assessment. Teachers may prepare a question bank or an objective type of test and place it on the network. The students can answer and submit the test. So to assess the improvements of the students and also to adapt in this modern day world, we can see a lot of online platforms that can utilize this. For example, Google Classrooms. So in Google Classrooms, a teacher can post a online quiz, and also into that place in Google Classroom, students can also access there freely and answer the quiz or exam there, and after which they can now have the feedback or the immediate feedback if scores can be obtained or be known by the student. So after clicking the submit button, you can immediately see or rapidly see your score, and you can also assess where you can improve or where you can study more. And also, the evaluation can be done by means of assignments in the forms of presentations, documents, and audiovisuals, online quizzes in various subjects, and also etc. So that is why most of the teachers are giving assignments to assess, to evaluate the learning of the children, because it is not always that you're going to discuss and to discuss, but also after discussion, it is very important for the teacher to know whether their students understand what they were talking during the discussion. Now, we are going to tackle about the roles of a teacher in the present era. So there are various roles of a teacher in this present era. One of which is that they are the starting point of a digital classroom. So they are going to lead their students in the digital classroom. So the teachers also must be trained to effectively use the technology for planning and student interaction. So as an educator, it is highly required for these individuals to be literate in these new tools for educating, because how can you teach if you yourself do not know how to do the task online? So the role of the teacher has shifted from being the sole provider of knowledge to being a facilitator as the student explores for himself the expansive world of knowledge. So the teachers in these times are not going to spoon feed the learners with ideas, but also facilitate or help them establish a stable learning. So lastly, the Learning Management System or LMS harnesses the potential of technology to improve learning outcomes and to prepare students for changes in the world in which they live. So the LMS or Learning Management System is emerging and has helped so much in the delivery of educational tools and pedagogy. One of the examples of this learning management system is the Moodle app, which is now being utilized around the world. So, students use information technologies to improve the ways of learning in new learning fashion, working in groups for cooperative and collaborative learning, developing self-learning habits at their own pace and time, learn with the teacher rather by the teacher, develop inquiry learning habits, review and explore qualitative data, and exchange learning experiences and information with other students and teachers living anywhere in the world. So in a nutshell, students use this to extremely innovate the method of how they wanted to learn, because every child is special and there should be also different ways to make themselves knowledgeable. So aside from that, teachers use information technologies to present the material in more interesting and attractive way. For example, they are presenting or they are making PowerPoint presentation or they are delivering their learning materials through vlogs. So guide and help the students in searching the qualitative material. So teachers are searching some learning references online like Google Scholar and some other search engines and make the best use of time. So some schoolworks are now done online to save time and also make it also easier to both children or the students and also the teachers, and coach the students refers to educators using specific strategies, resources, and assessments to cater the needs of each individual learning in their classes. Next is the direct the students toward cooperative as well as collaborative learning activities. So students can work as teams through brainstorming on an upcoming short film and so on, and prepare learning materials for students rather teaching in conventional situations. This will decrease the burdens of the teacher as they will be not writing anymore on manila papers, which will take hours to make, and then diagnose the learning problem of students and help them overcome it. So we also have, online surveys in which teachers will know where in the discussion they can improve themselves or discuss more, because there are a lot of dilemmas that might be encountered with the student. That is why the teacher is tasked, or it is the duty of the teacher to know what are the problems or what are the things that the student is having, and solve the study problems of students. Since they can now also engage in online, students who are more comfortable online will now be educated through a highly accessible form of education for them, which is the online. Because we cannot deny the fact that most of the students are fond using cell phones, using computers or laptops. So that is why it can solve the study problems. Thank you so much. So that will be all. I hope that you learned something from me. Bye.